Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you today? I'm Reverend Tracy Earlywine. I want to welcome you to our online community this week. This place we come to remember the truth of who we are and how good life can be when we are on our spiritual paths. So thank you all for joining us and welcome. I want to first acknowledge what a lovely time we had last Sunday evening. Those of you that were able to attend in person, we did a lovely outdoor service in our garden. Everybody brought their own chairs, they wore their masks, we stayed distance, and still, it was just lovely. It was a great way to connect. For those of you who could not be with us, know that you were with us in spirit, and our community is still thriving and full of joy and love, and that was very evident on Sunday evening. Next week, we will do another in-person service. We're going to start a little earlier, so we're not sitting in the dark. We'll start at 5 o'clock on Sunday night, the 27th. Watch for information about that in your e-blast or on our website, and we look forward to seeing those of you who are able to attend. I apologize. We had a little technical difficulty last week. We weren't able to post the video of the talk, but we're working on that, and we hope to have all that figured out before we get to the 27th. So again, thank you to everyone who made that possible. There were a lot of volunteers involved, and it was worth every minute. Just lovely. All right, I want to take a moment here and invite those of you at home to picture in your minds what it was like in our sanctuary the last time you were there. I want you to see the people sitting around you, maybe in front of you. Those of you in the back row, you can see everybody. And picture for a moment the person sitting next to you and smile at them in your mind's eye. Send love. Feel the joy. Feel the sense of community. And know that as you look around the room and offer your smile and your love and your energy, that people are doing the same for you. So right where you are, your community lives. And let's begin for today, shall we? Our practitioner of the day is Pat Richards. We are borrowing her from Harmony Center, as you know, and she will be doing our invocation and a short reading. So for now, we're going to take a moment and go into the silence. Just allow the sound of the bowl to resonate for you. Taking that deep breath and focusing on your heart space. That place within you where you know only light and love and oneness.
And right here, right now, in this amazing God-filled space, we know that God is. God is that light, gentle breeze that's moving through the pine trees right now. And God is that sun, that beautiful, amazing sun that has been clouded for some time, is back with us today. And you know what else is back with us today? We are back. We are back here, standing in our power, knowing our truth. And our truth is that we are powerful, God-filled spiritual beings, stepping forward into our power and our truth. And as you step forward, feel your body move forward. Feel that power as you move into your truth. And our truth is that we are here, we are powerful, and we are taking our truth and our power now. So no matter what things may look like or what is happening outside, we know that right here, right now, we are with spirit. We are spiritual beings and we are powerful. So I am grateful for this truth and grateful for knowing this truth and standing in this truth. And I release this into the law, knowing that what I believe is already done in the mind of God. So right here, right now, and so it is. So my reading today is from Creative Thought, August 2010. And it's called, There is Only One. The power of God is everywhere present as the unification of life. I am an expression of this life in action and accept the honor that comes with this awareness. I choose to see spirit in every aspect of life, in every person with whom I come in contact with. I am not swayed by appearances that may seem to negate the goodness of spirit in the world. I understand I am in process and moving forward in intelligent, compassionate, and loving ways regarding my unfoldment. I know as I continue to honor the presence of spirit in my daily practice, I make a tremendous difference for good in my life and on this planet. Spirit intends all humanity, including me, to be aware of the unlimited potential available for every person. In gratitude, I honor my oneness with the whole and recognize unity as my true identity. I act from this awareness, knowing divine love and law are my way. There is only one. And I know and celebrate its life as my life, and so it is.
That was perfect. Thank you. Do justly, love mercy, walk with God. That's guidance for good living from the prophet Micah in the Hebrew Scriptures. This weekend is the beginning of Rosh Hashanah leading up to Yom Kippur, the holiest days of the year in the Jewish calendar. It's a sacred time of reflection. It's called the Days of Awe. And it's an opportunity in the Jewish community to pause at the end of the old year to wake up to a spiritual awareness that may have been going to sleep in the last year, and to assess and amend what you want to do better. It's a way of clearing the slate in order to begin fresh in the new year. And so there's a commitment to acknowledge, using the advantage of hindsight to look back and say, I could have done that better. I could have been kinder. Wow, I was really angry about that. Lashing out didn't really help me. It's a way of looking at your life and deciding what's working and where you fell short, where you would have done it differently, knowing what you know now. And it's this implication that we can always grow into something more of what we want to be because we are already something more, just looking for ways to express. So we look back on our lives and think, all right, I can elevate this, or I know better now, or I understand this person in a new way. And so going forward, I will treat them differently or see them differently. I will act differently. That's what this time of year is all about. It's about assessing, about making amends, and then committing to action in the new year that brings about that better living. The symbol of Rosh Hashanah, and you probably see it in the pictures, is the rabbi blowing the shofar, or someone from the congregation blowing the shofar. That's the ram's horn. And it's used as a call. So there are 3 tones or 3 sections in the traditional call. The first one sounds like an alarm, and its purpose is to say, wake up. Wake up your consciousness. Pay attention. If you've been coasting along in your life, this is the moment where you are going to stop and wake up within that spiritual eyesight and ear, that ability to hear what's really happening. The second call is a distress call. It sounds like it's a staccato sound. Da, 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 da. It's that kind. And it's meant to bring to mind when something or someone is in distress, we are called to move in compassion and service, to pay attention. And what we're being asked to do during the holiday is to pay attention within and within our community to where that distress is, and to assess our role and to make amends. And the last tone of the shofar is a call to action. It is a long, single tone, because when we live life, we are living it continuously. And it says, now, from this place of awareness, I am ready to take action in a better way in my life, in the world. This whole process is a process of atonement, or at-one-ment. It is meant to align us again with the one. So I want to quote from Joel Goldsmith. There's a new compilation of his essays, and it's called The Government of Eden, Spiritual Principles for Living in Peace. And he talks about being the heir of God, the child of the Most High. The moment we become reconciled to and at one with our source, then immediately we are heirs, joint heirs to all the heavenly riches. In my reconciliation, it's necessary to know not only that I am an heir of God, but I must also know that I am joint heir with you, so that I include you in that divine relationship. In my reconciliation with God and with you, I am fulfilled. In that state of reconciliation, we pass from being only human, a man of the earth, to that man who has his being in Christ. In other words, that consciousness of oneness that is elevated above the human experience. Right identity, right identification is the most important step in one's spiritual development. As long as you believe yourself to be only human, you will be on the receiving end of both good and evil, a little and a lot, life and death. And the very moment you realize, I am not man, I am soul, I am spirit, I am consciousness, I am I, then in that moment you have your dominion. And so this High Holy Day process of prayer and confession and forgiveness and making amends and all of these spiritual practices are designed to bring us back into alignment with our spiritual truth. And that is exactly what we teach in the Science of Mind. Ernest Holmes tells us that we must prove spiritual law to ourselves. That this philosophy is a guide for living, but we use it in order to prove it to ourselves. No one does this for us. Our spiritual evolution is our own. It's our own process, our own responsibility. It is our own way into the greater yet to be, and to be part of a world that works for everyone. When we train our thoughts, when we practice right thinking, in other words, thinking in alignment, a perspective of love is at work everywhere, spirit is present in all things. When we walk in righteousness, in other words, in alignment with spiritual truth, then we shift our own perspective. We transform our lives because we see it differently, and because we think and feel and see it differently, we act differently. We act from a place of power and love and oneness rather than react to the noise of the world. We want our direction in life to come from that inner knowing, that place of love and compassion, not from the noise of the world coming at us. Ernest Holmes says, just take 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day. Thinking and feeling into what it is that you want. That love, that sense of peace, that feeling of flow and ease, that joy in life. 5 minutes a day in your mind's eye, feeling and seeing that which brings you that sense of joy and peace and ease. And you will truly see it in your life in a greater way. This is what we teach. And this is what the High Holy Days are meant to bring us back to. The title today is Turn and Return. Teshuvah, return. Turn back into. In other words, we move away from our spiritual center because we get caught up in the world, and we are being asked to turn back within. During the High Holy Days, the principle of Tikkun Olam is discussed. And this is the idea that the world is a flawed place, and our call is to leave it better than it was. And one of the great change makers of our culture passed on Friday. Ruth Bader Ginsburg made her transition on Friday, and she is a woman who left the world better than it was. In her fight for women's rights, in her understanding of the need to protect the least of us, in her desire for justice, and in her practice of law, she made the world a better place. You know, what we do matters, whether or not we're a Supreme Court justice or not. And so one of the rabbis Rabbi Daniel Friedman, wrote an essay about her passing as seen through the lens of the new year. And this is what he said. In years past, I have gathered strength from the prayer Utane Tokef, which is the central prayer of Rosh Hashanah. It is the call to assess your life, to realize that the actions we take have consequences. And if we continue to make uninformed, ignorant, or malicious action in the world, the consequences are the end of days, so to speak. So metaphorically speaking, we reap what we sow, and we are called to make sure that we understand that the spiritual truth is available to us, and should we turn to that, we will then change the outcome in the world. And so this prayer is a very grave prayer. There's a sense of gravity about it. And he says, given all the loss that we've experienced this year, and most recently, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I enter into this prayer feeling its weight bearing down more than ever. And he quotes, on Rosh Hashanah, this is written. On Yom Kippur, this is sealed. How many will pass away from this world? How many will be born into it? Who will live and who will die? But through return to the right path, through prayer and acts of justice, we can transcend the harshness of the decree. In traditional language, it would be repentance, prayer, and righteousness. Through these three Jewish values, return to the right path, repent, prayer, and acts of justice, righteousness, we can move beyond the uncertainty, the loss, and that which lies out of our control. RBG exemplified what it means to dedicate oneself to the act of pursuing justice. And through her justice and perseverance, our country has transcended some of the harshness. No one could ever hope to fill her shoes, but we can never give up on pursuing the value of justice. As we hear the call of the shofar this Rosh Hashanah, let us awaken ourselves to the call of justice in this new year, so that we may honor her legacy. This power is ours to proclaim. Baruch Dayan Ha'emet, blessed is the judge of truth. Shana Tova, it's a good year. Do justly. Do that which is right. Do that which is life-giving, supportive, nourishing for yourself and for others. This is who we are called to be. And we know this is true because it is our natural response. When there is a crisis or a disaster, most of us rush in to help. And that is who we truly are. And so this time of year, we practice tapping back into that sense of greater purpose. And in Science of Mind, we teach a conscious spiritual practice. In other words, we turn within in prayer. We move into a heart space to tap into that infinite love and let that be our fuel. We spend time remembering the truth so that when we're out in the world of chaos and noise and appearances and everybody else's agenda and who knows what else is going on, we can step back and remember that we are not merely human, that we are spiritual beings, that we are the I am of consciousness, and we choose to awaken to it. We choose to align with spiritual truth in our thinking, in our feeling, and in our actions. So these 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is a time to make amends with your friends or your business relationships. It's a time to reflect within on where you are, where you want to be, how you can be better. It's a time to offer and receive forgiveness. Hey, we all say things we shouldn't. We all lash out in reaction sometimes. We get triggered. But we're responsible for our own responses. The trigger and the reaction are ours. And this idea that no one can live our lives for us, no one can spiritually grow for us, that is ours to do, to see that no matter who pushes the button, whether it's in a relationship or in a job or it's the government or it's the circumstances of the world in the moment, we are ultimately responsible for how we are here. And so we release those things which don't serve us. We recognize where we've made a misstep, where we've misjudged, where we've judged at all. And we let go of the opinions and the judgments and the blame and shame so that we might be clear and clean and available for the energy of life which is beginning anew. And so I offer you right now an opportunity to do a little bit of this for yourself. There's a Jewish tradition during this time called tashlich, and that's the Hebrew word for pockets. So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and picture yourself standing next to a body of water, the ocean, a river, a lake, with your hands in your pockets. And in your pockets, there are crumbs. Crumbs are leftovers from the things that we take in, from the nourishment that we get in life. And as you touch each crumb with the tip of a finger, realize that each crumb represents something you are ready to let go of. Something that no longer serves, something that no longer resembles what you wanted your action or your words or your emotion to be in the moment, and now you don't need it anymore. So as you touch each crumb of resentment or judgment or opinions or fear or misdirected anger from your own life, gently scoop those crumbs out of your pockets and cast them onto the water. Watch them arc through the air and land on the water and begin to float away. And feel yourself letting go of these things which belong to the past, which belong to the old year. Knowing that you are making way for what is new, for what is nourishing now, for what will feed you in the days to come. And then taking a deep breath, come back to this moment. In Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes tells us that our minds are burdened with many things, and yet often, our minds are burdened with many things, and yet our spirit is of pure eye and perfect mind. And when we enter into this spirit and bear our souls to its great light, we loose or let go of our troubles, and we are healed. The wholeness that we are is revealed. When we stop carrying around the things which do not uplift, with the things that hold us back, the things that keep us in the past, the things that bring others down. When we let go of that, the energy, the light, the love that God is revealed. He says too, that when we pray, we erase false ideas from our inner thought. And Spirit is able to make the gift of wholeness to us. When we admit the light, it comes in because we are receptive. We can give up what holds us back, our discord, our divisiveness, our disease, our discomfort. And it's not easy. He says it's not easy to release our troubles. We're prone to linger with them. We tell the stories over and over and over again, don't we? But this is a time of release and clearing. So we let them go. And we gradually let loose of the false thought. It has no power in and of itself. And when we enter into that light of spirit that is within, when we've let go of the mistakes and the judgment and the sense of otherness and the sense that other people are other, we let all that go, there is a sense of lightness, but there is also a healing light that we step into. And this is where we find our wholeness. This is how we move forward in a greater way, how we live better. So the shofar reminds us to walk with God, to love mercy, to do justly. So let us hear this world as a call to us to awaken, to recognize our missteps, our bias, our ignorance, where we've done harm, and to make amends, to do the right thing, to let go of whatever we're holding on to that keeps us stuck there. Let's commit to do better and then act accordingly, justly, lovingly, passionately for what we are for. This is atonement, at one with spiritual truth, at one with spiritual principle and law, at one with this world that works for everyone. And this being one with the source of all good makes for a very good year. Shana Tova. And I invite you to go with me into a moment of prayer. Right here, within each heart, there is a love and a light which cannot be denied. It is the light of spirit. It is the energy of life. It is the love which fuels all things. And this love and light is the truth of me and of everyone. The essence of life itself is this goodness, this upliftment, this love, this place of peace, this mind of wisdom, this expression as compassion and loving kindness. This is the energy of life which fuels and feeds each and every one of us. And so I claim and know that in this ongoing time of at-one-ment, all that is needed to realign within creates a better world without. Everything each one of us is calling for is already present. And in this wholeness, in this variety of expression, in these individual life stories which we are all living, there is a surface, an energy, a unifying force beneath it, which reminds us of the power and the truth that we truly are. So in this Jewish New Year season, and in this season of our life where all things begin anew each moment, I recognize and claim the good that there is. I accept for each of us the good that is ours. And I know that the path is made clear as we consciously release the inner blockages, the false thinking, the leftover emotions. We let all of that go so that we might be present and receptive to the love that is, to the creativity which wants to come forth through us. From the connection, for the connection that we all feel one with each other, let that be magnified in this time. For we are all in this together. That just as the individual and the community in the Jewish temple acknowledge the missteps and embrace the infinite love, know too that right where we are, our heart is healed, and because of that, the world is healed. So grateful for our wholeness, grateful for our unity, grateful for the love that is the very essence of life. I release my word into law. For I know that it is already true, that this wholeness already exists, and that the light that we are can only shine brighter. For it is the very nature of God to shine its light in, through, and as each of us. It is good, it is God, and so it is.
Stay in the place of love. Stay in the place of light. Stay in the place of gratitude. You and I will always be so thankful together. Stay in the place of consciousness, being there to hear the precious message, the truth there. Stay in the place of beautiful, inside out and through and all around you. As you, oh, everything we breathe is love inspired. Everything we are and all that we have, if we stay there, stay in the place of love. Stay in the place of light. Stay in the place of wonderful, laughing out loud from all that makes us happy. Freely stay in the place of joyfulness, dancing round like there is no tomorrow. And love grows. Everything we breathe is love inspired. And everything we are and all that we place of love. Stay in the place of light. Stay in the place of joy. Stay in the place of peace. Just stay.
So I have an affirmation for you. I invite you to say each sentence after me. I align myself with spiritual truth. I choose love in all that I do. I am awake. And so it is. All right, a couple reminders of what's going on here at the center. We have coffee and donuts for one more Friday at 9 a.m. next week. Bring your own chair, bring your mask, bring your coffee. I'll bring the donuts and have coffee warm-ups for you. It's a wonderful time to make a connection and have a conversation at a safe distance and enjoy the shade of the garden. It's been really lovely the last couple of weeks in the morning. We also have a class coming up. Now, what I need for you to sign up if you want to take it. Several of you have told me that you are interested in knowing more about In the Flow of Life by Eric Butterworth. It's a book study. We read chapters, we think about a couple of questions, and we come together once a week and talk about it. We have Thursday afternoons or Saturday afternoons as possibilities. All of the details are in your e-blast or on the website, but I need to know by next Tuesday if you really truly mean it that you want to be in this book study so that we can make sure we have the reading assignments given out and you have time to get ready for that first class. So take the time to call the office or email Andy at admin@claremontcsl.org and we'll get you all set up for that. Again, next Sunday, we're going to have service in the garden in the evening, Sunday the 27th at 5 p.m. We'll meet in the garden. We'll try again to record the service, both the video and the audio, so those of you that cannot be there can still participate. And I look forward to seeing those of you that can make it. And again, know that if it's not time for you to come back together with us, you are loved and appreciated, and you are with us in spirit. There can be no other way. So I think that is it, except for my thank yous. My thank yous to, again, those who helped set up last Sunday. It was a great effort by many people, and it was beautiful. I also want to thank each and every one of you for continuing to contribute. Whether you use PayPal on our website, or on the e-blast, or you mail in a check, or you drop off an envelope at the center, we so appreciate your saying out loud that you believe in what we do, what we teach, who we are, and how the power of this community is allowed to continue because you care. You care, you contribute, we're grateful. Thank you to everybody who helps produce this and put it out there for all of you to see. And know, until next week, you are loved.